The biggest public inquiry of its kind ever to be held in the UK has been hearing evidence in Cardiff from the victims and the families of those who died receiving infected blood and blood treatments. It's estimated hundreds in Wales contracted diseases like HIV and hepatitis C, following what Sir Brian Langstaff, the chair of the inquiry, today described as the biggest treatment disaster in the health service's history. More now from our health correspondent, Owain Clark.
A life cut short and a family torn apart. Karisa Jones' husband Gerald was given blood after losing his leg after being crushed by a forklift truck at work in 1990. Little did he or she know that blood contained a deadly virus.
We were devastated, absolutely devastated. There's nothing to, our world fell apart.
Gerald was dying. Hepatitis C was destroying his liver and causing cancer. Devastation made worse by the news that Gerald had passed the virus on to his wife. Gerald died in 2012. 7 years later, and the task facing this former High Court judge, Sir Brian Langstaff, and his inquiry is to get to the bottom of what went wrong. He's already heard evidence in England, Scotland and Northern Ireland. But this morning, Karisa became the first Welsh witness, describing her own struggle following her husband's death.
I'm just not the same person as I was.
And Gerald died not knowing that the treatment would clear your virus.
Yeah.
It's estimated there were around 300 known Welsh victims, and these are just some of them. Along with those given infected blood through transfusion, many others were haemophiliacs who were given a new treatment that had been imported and made by pooling the blood of thousands of donors, including prisoners and drug users. Gerald Stone's evidence today was the first time he talked publicly about becoming infected with hepatitis C after receiving treatment for haemophilia. Yet doctors didn't tell him for a number of years that he tested positive.
Were you aware in December 1990 that you were being tested for hepatitis C?
No.
And was the outcome of that test ever communicated to you at the time?
No, not that particular test, no.
He was told eventually.
They didn't know of anybody, obviously at that time, of anybody having hepatitis C living more than 5 years. So he said you probably got 5 to 10 years.
Sue Sparks' husband Les, a haemophiliac, was also kept in the dark after testing positive for HIV.
We come out of that room that day and we were both totally wiped out. We just couldn't believe what we were hearing. We went there thinking we were just going to have a social chat about what's going on, and we come out with a bombshell. As far as he was concerned, he was a murderer. He had something inside him that he could kill people.
The truth is, this was a scandal that happened years before devolution, yet lawyers for Welsh victims are calling on the Welsh Government to take a lead in learning the lessons.
I would ask the Welsh Government to try and maybe lead the way in taking up Sir Brian's recommendations, put the others to shame and say we in Wales care for our people more than anybody else.
I'd need a good reason not to follow those recommendations when they're made. So the Welsh Government will take that seriously. Not only that, though, we'll continue to listen to the affected community here in Wales.
Much has been written about infected blood over the years, but beyond the headlines, families for decades have been battling in search of the truth. They hope finally this inquiry will shine a light on one of the darkest chapters in the NHS's history.